Now we will discuss indoor propagation concept. So in case of indoor propagation, indoor channels are different from traditional mobile radio channel in two different ways. So first one is the distance covered are much smaller. So in case of outdoor propagation, the distance is in kilometers, but in case of indoor propagation, the distance is in meters only. And second one, the variability of the environment is much greater for a much smaller range of TR separation distance. So much smaller range of TR separation distance means, so as I said, the coverage area is in the range of meters. So in small TR separation distance, that is in few meters, large amount of or variations of the radio waves are observed in this particular case. So the propagation inside a building influenced by layout of the building, the materials used in the construction of the building, then type of the building, for example sport arena, residential home, factory building, etc., etc. So depending on the dimensions of the building, material used in the building, and the type of the building, the propagation of the radio wave inside the building get changed. So in this case also, the propagation mechanisms that we discussed in last video lecture, that is reflection, scattering and diffraction, is also observed in case of indoor propagation also. However, the conditions are much more variable. So the first condition, doors or windows are open or not. So depending on the opening and closing of the door or doors of the window will change the radio signal, or the strength of the radio signal get changed. The mounting place of antenna, that is the location of the transmitting antenna on desk, or it is fixed on ceiling, etc. So depending on the location of the antenna, the variations in the radio wave. Then the level of floors, so depending on the floors in the building, the variations in the radio wave. So if suppose 4-story building is there, and at that time if suppose transmitter is located at the ground floor and receiver if suppose available on 4th floor, so depending on the number of floors available in between the transmitter and receiver, the power fluctuations are observed. So these indoor channels are mainly classified in line of sight, that is LOS, and OBS, that is obstructed with varying degrees of clutter. So in this picture we can able to see the ray tracing. So red color dotted lines are the ray paths. So suppose inside this particular room the different obstacles, that is table, chair, the wooden partition or glass partition. So suppose two rooms are there, and in between the two rooms one partition is there. So here we can able to see the transmitter and a receiver is available in this particular first room. So this particular receiver will receive exact line of sight powerful signal, plus this receiver will receive the reflected radio waves. So radio waves get reflected and get diffracted due to the building walls or the rough surfaces available inside the building. So here we can able to see the radio waves get reflected due to the table. Also diffraction is also observed. Scattering is due to the sharp edges or corners of the chair. So here we can able to see the number of reflections due to the table. So in this way, depending on the location of the receiver, the receiving antenna will receive the number of radio waves from the reflecting, diffracting and scattering bodies. So as I said, the variations in the radio wave or power fluctuations in the radio wave depending on the type of the building. So these are the different types of the building. So residential home in suburban area, residential home in urban area, traditional office building with fixed wall separated by the hard partitions, that is the brick wall kind of partitions, open plan building with movable wall panels, that is soft partitions. So soft partitions are nothing but the wooden kind of partitions and they are movable. Then factory building or type of the industry, for example textile industry, chemical industry or any foundry kind of industry. So depending on the factory building and the material used in that particular building, the variations in the attenuation factor. Then grocery stores or shopping malls, retailing stores, sports arena. So depending on the construction material used and the locations of the obstructions available in the building, the variations in the radio waves are observed. Then indoor propagation events and parameters. So here temporal fading for fixed and moving terminal So this is nothing but the motion of the people inside the building causes radiation fading for the stationary receiver. So if suppose the receiver is stationary, and if suppose the receiving antenna receiving the radio waves, and in between transmitter and receiver, if suppose the peoples are moving, so depending on the movement or motion of the obstacle, now in this case obstacles are the human beings, so depending on the location or movement of the people, the variations in the radio wave. So the portable receivers experience in general Rayleigh kind of fading for obstruction propagation path and radiation fading for the line of sight path. So Rayleigh and radiation kind of fadings are observed in this case. The second parameter, that is multipath delay spread. So here buildings with fewer metals and hard partitions typically have small RMS delay spread. It is in between 30 to 60 nanoseconds and can support data rate excess of several Mbps without equalization. Then larger building with great amount of metal and open SLS may have RMS delay spread as large as 300 nanoseconds. So this cannot support data rate more than few hundred kbps without equalization. So maximum delay spread is nothing but pulse broadening effect, and this is the harmful parameter. So in case of fewer metal part oriented building or hard partition building, so at that time the RMS delay spread is minimum 30 to 60 nanosecond. So it is better one. But if suppose the metal and other materials are observed in the large buildings, this value may get increased up to 300 nanosecond. So in this case maximum data rate is not possible due to the pulse broadening effect. So the equalizations also equalization circuits are also important, plays an important role to maintain the rise time and fall time of the digital pulses. Then the path loss for this particular indoor. So the formula for this path loss that we discussed earlier, so PL of D in dB milliwatt is equal to PL of D0 plus 10 n log D by D0 plus X sigma. So this expression we already discussed, where n is nothing but the exponent factor, sigma is the standard deviation. So the exponent factor n and the sigma values may get changed depending on the type of the building. So smaller value of sigma indicates the accuracy of path loss model, and X sigma is the random variable or random factor. So in this table we can able to see the path loss exponent factor and the standard deviation measured for different types of the buildings. So first type of the building, retail stores. So if suppose the carrier frequency, if suppose 914 megahertz, so in this type of the building the exponent factor is observed 2.2 and the standard deviation, and according to that the dB value is 8.7. Then grocery store same operating frequency, the exponent factor is 1.8 and the standard deviation sigma is 5.2. The next type of the building is office building, and suppose hard partitions are there, and if suppose the carrier frequency or channel frequency is 1.5 gigahertz, so at that time the exponent factor is observed 3 and sigma 7. If suppose another type of the office building with soft partition, so if suppose 900 megahertz channel frequency, so exponent factor observed 2.4 and sigma 9.6. Then office building with same soft partition, but in this case carrier frequency is 1900 megahertz, so in this case the exponent factor is 2.6 and sigma is observed 14.1. Then factory with LOS, so if suppose textile or chemical industry is there, if suppose carrier frequency 1.3 gigahertz, so at that time the exponent factor is observed 2 and sigma 3. Same kind of building, if suppose carrier frequency 4000 megahertz, then exponent factor is observed 2.1 and sigma dB is 7. Then in case of paper mills, if suppose 1.3 gigahertz carrier frequency, the exponent factor is 1.8 and sigma 6. Metalworking or sheet metal works kind of fabrication type of industry or factory, same operating frequency, at that time the exponent factor is 1.6 and standard deviation in dB 5.8. Then indoor street, if suppose 900 megahertz carrier frequency, exponent factor 3 and sigma 7. Then factory building with obstructions, so first type of the building textile or chemical factory, let's suppose 4000 megahertz carrier frequency or channel frequency, the exponent factor is 2.1 and 9.7 sigma. Metalworking 1300 megahertz carrier frequency with exponent factor 3.3 and 6.8. So in buildings, path loss factors are based on 3 criteria. First one, partition losses at the same floor. If suppose in between transmitter and receiver obstructions are there, and suppose hard or soft partitions are available in between the transmitter and receiver, that is location of the transmitter and receiver are at same floor, then depending on the type of the partition, that is brick wall, glass partition or plywood kind of wooden partition, so depending on that the exponent factor and sigma value get changed. The second, partition losses between floors. If suppose transmitter is located on ground floor and the receiver is located on the first floor, so depending on the construction material, it is need to consider the floor loss. Then signal penetration into the buildings, If suppose the transmitter is located in one building and the receiver is located in another building at different floor, so at that time the signal penetration into buildings need to consider. So partition losses, there are two kinds of partition at the same floor. As I said, the hard partition, that is the walls of the rooms. Soft partitions are nothing but movable partitions that do not span to the ceiling. Do not span to the ceiling means the height of the movable partition, wooden partition or usually wooden partition or glass kind of or aluminum partitions are limited in height. Path loss depend on the type of the partition. So partition losses, so average signal loss measured reported by various researchers for radio paths obstructed by some common building materials. So in this table we can able to see, so suppose all metal kind of material is there and the losses are observed at 815 megahertz. So it is observed that it is 26 dB of attenuation. If suppose aluminum sliding kind of partition is there, so at that time the 20.4 dB at same channel frequency. If suppose concrete block wall is there, so at that time the loss is minimum 3.9 dB at higher frequency as compared to the 815, so 1.3 gigahertz. Loss from one floor, so it is in between 20 to 30 dB at same channel frequency, that is 1300 megahertz. Then turning an angle in corridor, so the loss in dB 10 to 15 at same carrier frequency, that is 1300 megahertz. Then concrete floor or slab, so at that time 10 dB of loss is observed at 1300 megahertz. Then dry plywood with the thickness 3/4 inch, it is tested for one sheet, so it is observed that 1 dB of loss at channel frequency 9600 megahertz. Then wet plywood with same thickness, so at that time it is observed that 19 dB of loss or attenuation at the carrier frequency, same carrier frequency 9600 megahertz. Then aluminum sheet with 1/8 of inch, so here more attenuation, 47 dB of loss is observed for 9600 megahertz channel frequency. So in this way, depending on the type of the material or the partitions available in the building, the losses are different. So the losses between floors of building are determined by external dimensions and materials of the building, type of the construction used to create the floor, that is the floor is made up of either the bricks, concrete or any wooden kind of material. External surrounding, if suppose the building is surrounded by some buildings, or if suppose surrounded by some trees. So depending on the environment, number of windows available with the floor or the room, presence of tinting on windows. If suppose glass window is there, so at that time it is observed that most of the time it is observed that tinting of the glass. Then the partition losses between the floors. So here FAF, floor attenuation factor in dB, for 1, 2, 3 or 4 floors in 2 office buildings, we can write according to the table. So here FAF is nothing but floor attenuation factor and sigma in dB. So first office building 1. So suppose through one floor attenuation factor is 12.9 and sigma is 7. Through second floor it is increased 18.7 and sigma 2.8. At third floor the floor attenuation factor again increased 24.4 and the sigma is reduced to 1.7. And at fourth floor it is observed that floor attenuation in dB 27 and sigma 1.5. And in second building through first floor 16.2 floor attenuation factor and sigma 2.9. Through second floor it is 27.5 and 5.4, and through third floor 31.6 and 7.2 sigma. So again, depending on the locations of the transmitter and receiver in these two buildings, if suppose in building 1 at first floor the transmitter is available and in the another building at same floor a receiver is available, so according to the type of the materials available in these two buildings, the floor attenuation factor get changed depending on the exponent factors and the sigma factor. Again, if suppose the transmitter at the first floor of the first building and the receiver is available on third floor of the second building, so depending on the floors available in between the transmitter and receiver, again the attenuation values get changed. Then the signal penetration into the buildings. So here RF signals can penetrate from outside transmitter to the inside of building. So here, however, the signals are attenuated due to the type of the material used in the building. So the path loss during penetration has been found to be function of the channel frequency of the signal and the height of the building. So here effect of frequency or channel frequency. So penetration loss decreases with increase in the frequency. So in this table we can able to see different carrier frequencies and losses in dB So for 441 megahertz carrier frequency, the 16.4 dB of loss. If we increase the carrier frequency 441 to 896.5, it is observed that 11.6 dB. Again, if you increase the frequency from 896 to 1400 megahertz, so in this case it is observed that again it is reduced from 11.6 to 7.6. Then the second factor, that is effect of height. So here penetration loss decreases with the height of the building up to some certain height. So at lower height, the urban clutter includes greater attenuation, and then it increases. It is observed that shadowing effect of adjacent building. So at heighted buildings, the penetration losses are minimum. If suppose urban area is there and crowd is there, so at that time the radio wave get reflected and get diffracted, and due to this reason greater attenuation is observed, and also the shadowing effect is also observed in the radio wave. So here we will stop, and in the next video lecture we will discuss the small scale fading concept.